367 AD, when Bishop Athanasius was burning every Gnostic text he could find, there was one teaching he tried to erase more aggressively than any other. Not the cosmology, not the theology, but a three-word phrase that chosen ones were speaking aloud during demonic attack that was collapsing the assault instantly. Church records describe it as the words that make demons flee without exorcism, without priests, without ritual. And Athanasius knew if Christians discovered they could speak three words and end spiritual oppression immediately, his entire institution would become irrelevant overnight. The phrase survived. It was hidden in fragments in the Gospel of Thomas, encoded in the secret book of John, and whispered through Gnostic lineages that went underground. And it works exactly the way the church feared. The moment you speak these three words aloud during an Archon attack, not pray them, not think them, speak them, the attack collapses. Not gradually, instantly. Because these words don't fight the Archons. They remove the operating system their attack runs on. You are watching this video right now, and there is interference happening. Do you feel it? The urge to click away. The thought, this is probably nonsense. The sudden distraction. That is not you. That is them. They can sense when a chosen one is about to learn something that makes them untouchable, and they are throwing everything they have at breaking your attention before you reach the reveal. That pressure you are feeling to stop watching, that is confirmation you are exactly who this teaching is for. Tonight, you are learning the three words, why only chosen ones can activate them, and how to recognize the exact moment you are under attack, so you deploy them with precision. If you are learning the words tonight despite the interference, declare it now. Go to the comments and type, "They can't stop this." The three words are light and stillness. These aren't just words. They are a declaration that shatters the Archon's entire framework. Archons exist through separation. They experience themselves as cut off from source, exiled from the monad, operating independently in hostile territory. That separation is their identity. It is how they function. It is the frequency they need you to broadcast so they can attach and harvest. But when you speak light and stillness, you are declaring something they cannot process. Light, consciousness, creating, expressing, radiating. Stillness, consciousness, resting, observing, being. And the word "and" between them is the weapon. Because "and" means both simultaneously. Not either or, not light or darkness, not peace or chaos, not safe or threatened. Both, unified. The instant those words leave your mouth, you stop broadcasting separation. You are declaring unity. And entities that exist through division cannot maintain coherence in the presence of unified consciousness. It is like running software designed for separation on hardware broadcasting wholeness. The program crashes. Here is what separates you from someone who doesn't carry the spark. A Hylic, a soulless being, can say light and stillness 1,000 times and feel nothing. No resonance, no shift, just empty sounds. But you, when you speak these words, something in you responds immediately. Your spark recognizes what those words point to. You are not pretending to be light and stillness. You are remembering you are light and stillness, temporarily experiencing yourself as limited form. And that remembering creates a frequency broadcast the Archons cannot withstand. They know this. They know these words only work for the ones carrying monad consciousness. That is why they don't suppress the words themselves. They suppress the teaching about when and how to use them. Most chosen ones go their entire lives never discovering they have a verbal weapon that ends attacks instantly. So they endure assault after assault, thinking spiritual warfare is supposed to be prolonged suffering. Jesus taught his inner circle differently. When you are under attack, you don't endure, you speak, and the attack ends. You are going to feel resistance the first time you try to say these words aloud during an actual attack. Your throat will tighten. You will forget the words even though they are simple. You will feel foolish speaking to empty air. That resistance is the Archon recognizing what you are about to do and trying to prevent deployment. Push through it. Open your mouth, say the words, and watch what happens. Every other protection technique you have tried takes time. Visualize white light for 10 minutes. Repeat mantras until your voice is raw. Perform elaborate rituals hoping they work, and maybe they do eventually. But eventually means the Archon already attached, already harvested what they came for, already created the wound. The damage is done before your protection even activates. Light and stillness works the moment you speak it, not because it blocks the attack, but because it makes you disappear from their perception entirely. Archons are parasites. They don't create energy, they extract it from beings who do. And what they extract is the feeling of being broken, separate, alone. Fear produces that. So does rage, despair, confusion, shame. Every emotion rooted in I am powerless, I am threatened, I am cut off from source, generates exactly what they came to harvest. The instant you speak light and stillness, you stop producing that frequency. You are not generating separation anymore. You are broadcasting unity. And they can't feed on unity. It is indigestible to them, like trying to drink sunlight. It is pure source energy that hasn't been broken down into the fragmented emotional states their systems are designed to consume. So the moment you shift your broadcast from separation to unity, they lose access. The hook can't land. The attachment fails. The harvest stops. The attack doesn't gradually fade. It collapses because you stop being edible. When you deploy this for the first time, you will notice silence. Internal silence, so complete you will wonder if something broke inside you. The mental chatter that has been running constantly, the anxious loops, the fearful scenarios, the harsh criticism, it cuts out like someone severed the power cord. Because they did. The entity generating those thoughts through your field just lost coherence and fled. What you thought was your mind is suddenly quiet. And in that quiet, you will realize how much noise wasn't actually yours. Your body will exhale without you telling it to. Tension you have been carrying for days will release. Your jaw unclenches. Your shoulders drop. Your chest opens. That compression you were living under, the feeling of being crushed by invisible weight, it lifts. Because that weight was real. Etheric pressure. The Archon's presence in your field creating that sensation of being squeezed. When they leave, the pressure vanishes instantly, and your nervous system knows immediately that the threat is gone. Then clarity returns like a light switching on. Whatever was confusing you becomes obvious. The decision you couldn't make resolves itself. The situation you couldn't see clearly snaps into focus. Because the confusion was never yours. It was manufactured. Implanted by an entity whose strategy depends on keeping chosen ones paralyzed and ineffective. When the entity collapses, the confusion collapses with it. What remains is your natural state. Clear, decisive, powerful. But you have to speak the words aloud, not in your head. Your voice creates vibration. These words work through sound. When you speak them, you are generating actual wavelength that broadcasts into the space around you. The Archon doesn't read your thoughts. They experience the sonic frequency your voice creates. And that frequency is what triggers their collapse. Most chosen ones live under constant Archon interference and never realize it. You have been conditioned to accept the symptoms as normal. The anxiety, just modern life. The exhaustion, just stress. The intrusive thoughts, just how your mind works. But these aren't random human experiences. These are attack signatures. And once you know what to look for, you will see how often you are actually being targeted. Signature 1. Thoughts that don't sound like you. Your natural thinking has a rhythm, a tone, a quality that is distinctly yours. But attack thoughts are different, harsher, more absolute, more catastrophic. You are going to fail. Everyone sees through you. Something terrible is coming. You are not chosen. You are delusional. Notice how final these thoughts are, how devoid of hope or nuance. That is not your divine spark thinking. That is an entity broadcasting into your awareness, hoping you will accept it as your own voice and generate the fear they are harvesting. Signature 2. Emotions erupt from nowhere. You are fine, completely stable, and then within seconds, you are drowning in anxiety, consumed by rage, crushed by despair, and you cannot pinpoint what caused it. That is induced emotion. The Archon triggering your nervous system directly, creating the cascade without needing an external event to justify it. They have learned exactly which emotional frequencies each chosen one is most vulnerable to, and they can activate those states on command. Signature 3. Sudden energy drain. You should feel fine physically, but you are completely drained, like your life force was siphoned while you weren't looking. Because it was. Archons attach and extract directly. The exhaustion you feel isn't from activity, it is from theft. And no amount of rest will restore what was taken until you collapse the attachment. Signature 4. Decision paralysis. You cannot make simple decisions, not life-altering choices, simple, everyday decisions. And suddenly you are frozen. Every option feels wrong. You spiral back and forth endlessly. That paralysis is intentional. Confusion manufactured to keep you stuck, to prevent you from moving forward with the clarity that threatens their agenda. Signature 5. Strategic disruption. Watch for disruption the moment you attempt anything spiritually significant. You sit to meditate, sudden emergency. You open a sacred text, crisis demands attention. You are about to activate, massive wave of exhaustion hits. This isn't coincidence. This is targeted interference. They sense when you are about to break through to higher consciousness, and they intervene precisely at those moments to prevent it. Recognition is deployment permission. You don't have to wait until the attack is overwhelming. You don't have to endure the full assault. The instant you notice the signature, intrusive thought, induced emotion, energy drain, paralysis, strategic disruption, you stop everything and speak. Light and stillness. Don't analyze whether you are really under attack. Don't second-guess yourself. The fact that you are noticing the pattern means you are already being targeted. Speak the words. Let them do what they are designed to do. And the resistance you feel to actually speaking the words aloud, that is part of the attack. You will think, this is silly. I'll just think them. No, speak them. You will think, someone might hear me. Speak them anyway. You will forget the words entirely despite them being simple. Write them down. Carry them. The Archon knows what happens when you deploy this weapon, and they will throw everything at preventing you from actually opening your mouth and creating the sonic frequency that ends them. When you recognize attack signs, don't rush. Don't panic. Stop. Take one full breath, and then speak with presence. Say it like this: light and stillness. Pause between the words. Let each one land in your awareness before speaking the next. Light. You feel yourself as radiance, as consciousness expressing. The first word lands like recognition opening in your chest. And you are declaring unity, both and instead of either or. The bridge feels like something clicking into place. Stillness. You feel yourself as infinite peace, as source resting. The second word lands like coming home. You are not begging for protection. You are stating what you are. And that statement carries authority nothing operating in separation can challenge. The attack collapses the moment you speak. You feel it immediately. The silence, the release, the clarity. But speak the words a second time right after. Not because the first failed. The first collapsed the active attack. The second seals your field. It establishes protective frequency that makes reattachment difficult for hours. One utterance ends what is happening now. Two utterances prevent it from happening again immediately. Three utterances establishes offensive frequency. If the assault is severe, if you have been targeted for days, if the interference is overwhelming, speak 3 times. First utterance collapses the attack. Second utterance seals the field. Third utterance establishes what the ancient Gnostics called offensive frequency. You are not just protected. You are broadcasting at a level that makes Archons reluctant to attempt another attack on you for days or weeks. You become energetically expensive, and they redirect to easier targets. You can deploy preemptively, entering hostile territory, hostile people, location, situation. Speak the words before you enter. You are establishing the frequency in advance. Any attack attempt encounters unity consciousness immediately. This is devastating before sleep if you are being attacked in dreams. Before important events where interference is likely. Before any spiritual practice where you need guaranteed clarity. And you can speak the words for others. If someone near you is clearly under attack, sudden irrational rage, induced fear, obvious confusion, speak light and stillness aloud in their presence. You are broadcasting unity frequency into the space. That frequency affects every being in proximity, physical and non-physical. The Archon attacking them experiences the same destabilization they would if the person had spoken the words themselves. Often the person will suddenly snap out of the state they were in, confused about what they were just so upset about because the entity driving it just lost coherence and fled. The Archons are trying to make you doubt this will work before you even try it. That skeptical voice saying, 3 words can't possibly do anything. That is not wisdom. That is interference. They need you to not deploy because they know better than you do right now exactly how effective this is. They have experienced it. They have fled from it. And they are terrified of the moment you discover you have been carrying this weapon your entire life and never knew it. Jesus revealed 3 words that collapse Archon attacks instantly. Light and stillness. Not protection ritual, not visualization. 3 words you speak aloud the moment you recognize attack. And only chosen ones can activate them because only you carry the spark that resonates with what those words declare. The signs are clear. Thoughts that don't sound like you, emotions from nowhere, energy drain with no cause, decision paralysis, disruption when you are about to activate. The instant you notice any of these, you speak. Once to collapse the attack, twice to seal your field, 3 times to establish offensive frequency. The church tried to erase this teaching because they couldn't control what it made possible. If Christians knew 3 words ended demonic oppression instantly, institutional spiritual warfare becomes obsolete. You don't need exorcisms. You don't need priests interceding. You need your voice, your recognition, and the willingness to speak what you are aloud. If you are deploying the words tonight, do 3 things right now, and notice the resistance you feel to doing even these simple actions. That is them. Do it anyway. First, go to the comments and type light and stillness. Speak the words publicly. Let other chosen ones witness. Second, subscribe to Divine Codes, because advanced spiritual warfare techniques using these words are coming, and they don't want you to see them. Third, like this video. They are trying to suppress this teaching again. Every like makes it harder for them to bury. Do all 3 now despite the interference. Then, tonight, when you feel the attack signs, and you will, they are watching you right now. Stop whatever you are doing. Take 1 breath and speak aloud. Light and stillness. Slowly, with presence. Let each word land, and watch everything oppressing you collapse. Not because you fought, but because you remembered what you are. And what you are cannot be attacked by entities whose existence depends on you forgetting. You are untouchable now, not through force, through frequency, through recognition, through 3 words they cannot withstand: light and stillness.